Today we're going to review Lesson 1 for PowerPoint. However, we will be using Microsoft Office 365 or Office.com for this assignment and for this review. On the left side, you can see we have the Slides panel. At the top, we have our ribbon. We have Home, Insert, Draw, Design, etc. The entire area here, outlined in red, is our slide pane, or basically our main work area. And finally, down at the bottom, we have our status bar. And on the left side, we have our slides and the number of slides we have in our slideshow. Another key point that you'll need to know is our Backstage View. To get to the Backstage View, click the File key. When you click File, this is the Backstage View, and that gives you more information where you can make a copy, print, share, and get more information about your document. And again, that's called the Backstage View because you don't necessarily see it in your active desktop. On a lot of the items, we will have a drop-down list, and that will have an arrow that you can click below, and it will have a list of other options there. And again, those are drop-down arrows or a drop-down list. What I've done with this view is I have switched the Simplified Ribbon instead of the other one. This makes it look a little bit more like the classic Microsoft PowerPoint 2019. When you click Home, remember Home is considered a ribbon, you're going to have different groups. We have a slide group, a font group, a paragraph group. So again, these are ribbons. You've got an insert ribbon, a design ribbon, and then within each ribbon you can have groups. So this is a transition group, a timing group, an animation group. So you've got ribbons and then you have groups. Another new vocabulary word you're going to need to know is the the Dialog Box Launcher. Basically, it just means more options. So again, to make it a little bit more clear, we're in the Home ribbon, and we've got our groups, our slide group, our font group, and our paragraph group. So the Dialog Box Launcher is located at the bottom right corner of a group. So that means if there's additional options there that there's not enough space for, it's going to be right there, and you're going to be able to click that to get even more options. Not every group will have one, but some of them may. As I mentioned, in the bottom right corner, we have the status bar. And within the status bar, we have several items that are important. One of the first items that is important is the Notes panel. So we can click Notes once, and then that will allow us to add some notes on a slide. That could be very important if we wanted to make a note of maybe when something was updated. Maybe we got data and facts from a website and we want to be able to put that website there to refer back to. And it's also great if you are delivering a PowerPoint. There may be information that you need to explain during the presentation that you just don't want necessarily everybody to see. So if you want to add a note, you can click it once to turn notes on and once to turn notes off. And notes are available in every single slide. The next part are views. In this version, there are 3 different views. We have our editing view. Beside it, we have our slide sorter view. And then finally, we have the slideshow itself. So we have 3 different views. We have the editing view, our slide sorter view, and also our Slideshow view. When I click the Slide Sorter view, that allows me to see my slides, and then from here I can rearrange my slides. Here I only have 5 slides, but if I had 20 or 100, it would make that a lot easier. So if I want to rearrange a slide, in this case I can click Slide 4, drag and drop to rearrange them. You can also do that in the slide pane. So if I'm over here in my regular view, I still have my slides, and I can click and drag to rearrange. So this is easy to do if you have a small amount of slides, but if you have a large amount, you may want to go to the slide sorter. In this example, I already have sections that are made. We'll get to sections in a little bit later in a different part of the lesson. The last view at the end is the slideshow. If I click this, the slideshow will run, and you can see the slideshow. I can arrow through these. These are some of my answers. And for mine, I actually inserted a short little video about pelicans, which are my favorite animal. Another way that we can get to the different view options is to click View the Ribbon. We can view from the beginning. We can view our slideshow from a current slide. We can also click Notes to look at different notes if we have any. So for example, the video I added, I have the video where it's from, a description of the video, as well as a link to the website. Okay. So yes, I have switched programs on you, but I just wanted to show you this really quick. An additional feature that they have in Office 2019, again, you have the views. It looks a little bit different, and you also have a couple of color options. So the color grayscale group is in the view ribbon, so you can view your PowerPoint in color, in grayscale. You can look at it in black and white. And that's kind of important maybe if you're going to be doing handouts and things like that. This would allow you to see what your presentation would look like in some different color views. Okay. Since I'm showing you the Office 2019 version, let me show you another thing that you can do under the View ribbon. You can click the Review ribbon, and then you can click Arrange All. So that's very important if you have multiple presentations, and you can look at those all at the same time. Let me adjust my screen a little bit there so you can see all of those at the same time. And you can click Escape to get out of that part. And you could also cascade them. So you can click View and Cascade, and then that kind of lets you see them kind of in a 1, 2, 3 order, like they would be maybe perhaps papers on your desk. But again, those options there that I just showed you are only on the Office 2019, not on the Office 365 version. Okay. I can close my Notes view by either clicking Notes at the bottom, and again I can do the same thing with Notes at the top under the View ribbon, or not. If I want to add a slide, I can add a slide anywhere I want, and wherever you add a slide, it's going to put the new slide below it. So if I want to add a slide between slides 5 and 6, I want to click slide 5, and quickly I can do Insert, New Slide, and then by default there are 9 different sections that we could use. When you add a new slide, there's typically placeholder text, and that is just to kind of show you exactly where you could place your text. To start typing, all you have to do with your mouse is click in the middle, and your title goes there. All right, I've switched back to Office 2019. And again, this is in the regular 2019 view. So we've talked about the normal view, the slide sorter view, and the notes page view. But another neat one that this version has is the outline view. And the reason the outline view can be very important is if you're trying to study for a test perhaps, and you really want to focus on the material and not get distracted by the images, you can look over here at the outline view. And I can kind of resize this. So the outline view actually has all the text that is on this slide, but it's not showing you any of the graphics. Okay, so the outline view that's available in 2019 lets you see the text that is there, but not the actual graphics. Okay, so that's just about a wrap up for lesson 1 in PowerPoint. And again, I apologize for having to switch between the two versions, but this way you are able to get the knowledge of 2 different versions instead of 1. So again, we have our Backstage View, and here is where we could save, we could print, we could download a copy. We can click on our different ribbons. And at the bottom right, we have our status bar. And at the top, we can click to go back to the Simplified Ribbon or the Single Line Ribbon. So if you're in a Chromebook and you don't have a lot of space in your monitor, the Single Line Ribbon is probably easier because not as much of your room is being taken up with the different bars. However, it does not look identical to what we're going to be testing in. So that's why I kind of prefer to go ahead instead of the Single Line Ribbon to click it and switch to that Classic Ribbon. It may show as simplified for those options.